Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to today's Caffeine for the Soul. And today's episode was prompted by a conversation I had with a client. And he came to me and he was very downhearted. And he said, I thought I was really getting this, but obviously I'm not. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, I thought I was really understanding that I was living in the feeling of my thinking, not the feeling of my circumstances. And I understood the nature of thought, that it sort of created my reality and then I would live inside it. Consciousness would bring it to life like a special effects department. And, in other words, he knew all the right answers for the written exam. And I said, well, why do you think you don't understand it? And he said, well, I lost it the other day. I said, what do you mean? He said, I got full-on road rage. He said, I was late with my kids. We were trying to get to an appointment, and I was behind this guy, and he wasn't going when the light turned green, and then it happened again, and he didn't go when the light turned green. And I actually got so mad, I got out of my car to confront him, and it just, clearly I don't get this. And I said, oh, what do you think getting it looks like? And he said, well, if I got it, then I'd just be really zen. I'd be really chill. I wouldn't lose it because somebody didn't go at a green light. And I said, oh, that's interesting. That's not what getting it looks like in my mind. And he said, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, this is just a metaphor. But it seems to me that understanding the nature of thought is like understanding the nature of dreams. They seem so real when we're in them. Things happen that actually make no sense if you stand back and think about it. I remember actually having this dream. I was sitting having tea with my dead aunt, and that seemed normal. And at one point, like there was stuff coming out of her hair like snakes. That seemed normal. But when I went to the door, it was snowing outside. And I went, oh, weird, this must be a dream. Because there was no way that could happen. Like, that's the nature of dreams. There's just enough plausibility in there that while we're in it, we think it's really happening. But one of the things we know about dreams is as soon as we wake up, we're not going to be held liable for what we did in the dream. We don't have to clean up our mess that we made in the dream. Now, we might have to clean up the mess that we made in our partner's dream. If they went, I dreamed you did this, and how could you? And yeah, okay, that happens. But if we understand dreams, even if we don't enjoy them when we're in a bad one, we don't really worry about them. We don't spend too much time thinking about them. We don't go back over them and try and understand them. We don't work too hard to control them. Well, in the same way as our nighttime dreams, we kind of get they're just dreams. Our daydreams, and particularly our daymares, are exactly the same. They're made of thought. They seem incredibly real when we're in them, to the point where we can get road rage because some guy's just not going at a green light. But the second we wake up from the dream, we don't really have to do anything about it. It's actually like, the end of The Wizard of Oz. It was just a dream. Like, it's actually a relief when we realize that, it was just thinking. It was just a thought-created reality that was so real. I really thought I needed to kill this guy. Thank goodness it was just a dream. Now, if you understand the nature of dreams, you also start to see that, we don't really control our dreams, but we can sometimes influence them. If we want to dream a certain thing or a certain way, it sometimes will happen just almost because we intend it to. Another characteristic of a dream is it's more fluid than we think of our regular life being. Things can happen in our dreams that might never happen in our lives. And so while we don't seem to be able to control the content of our dreams, and we don't seem to be able to stay awake all the time and not dream, what we can learn to do is master the art of dreaming. We can learn to live the dream with some degree of awareness. We can do what the author Timothy Freak called lucid living and begin to be more awake inside the dream. Not thinking we're not supposed to fall asleep, not thinking we're supposed to be in control of the dream, but also not suffering from it, not having to psychoanalyze it, not having to control it, and knowing that no matter how bad the dream is, you don't need to do anything about it. You just need to wake up. Now, if you want to play with this for yourself, here's a little thought experiment you can play with today or this week or for as long as you like. What if everything you are experiencing right now is all your dream? It's your dream of life, and you're living the dream. Now that includes everything that you think other people are doing, everything that you ascribe to other people. So you are living 100% in a dream. Everybody else is just a character in your dream, but here's the thing. Every character is dreaming their own dream. Now, in the principles understanding, the inside-out understanding, we tend to talk about this as separate realities. But sometimes it's easier to see that it's just separate dreams. And there may or may not even be overlap between what's happening in my dream and what's happening in someone else's dream. But if you just play with that today, I think not only will you probably have a cool kind of an altered state experience, which is just fun, but you might begin to notice how much of what really seems like reality that has to be dealt with is made of thought, which comes and goes without your having to do anything at all. Have fun, learn heaps, happy exploring, and I'll talk to you soon.